7 clear. They'll be at the halfway stage pretty much when the current leg is finished. That will be 4 of the 9 laps. That will be all the shooting completed. That was an impressive shoot from Simon. Didn't even smile.
I love the light down here at the target end, so you get a very good sight picture. Often at night time you can get a darkened foresight, and the clarity can put you off a little.
So there are the standings after the first 3 laps have been completed. 3 shoots of the 8 have gone. The French are yet to make a mistake. No one has made it all the way through one of these races without missing a target. Are they about to make a little bit of history for themselves? So the 4th leg underway at the moment. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. Could only be Benny Dole going through. Well, extraordinary performances at Lenzerheide. He had a brilliant sprint race, got the win there, and then faded dramatically in the pursuit and never got his form back in the mass start either.
It's quite strange, yeah, dropping down to 17th, but you know, often if you're in a new place, it's like racing in a stadium like this. You haven't experienced it before. There he was leading the world out, and he felt the pressure on the range. He wasn't just doing his routine without caring. He was thinking, I need to get out, I'm at the front, I've never been there before. So all these thoughts go through your mind and can affect your mindset when you come in to shoot.
Yeah. Now, if you were his coach and he wasn't Benny Dole, what would you do? Maybe you can tell us in a minute when we've just seen Fabien Claude in action. First mistakes from the French, and they come at a price. And Simon, that's a disapproving look if ever I saw one. So 2 penalty loops, those 24 seconds could well be eaten up, but the chasers have got to clear, and it's Benny Dole on the range now. Just listen to the response should the targets go down. A little bit of a shake at the end of the barrel, but 3 out of 3 so far. 4 out of 4. Is Benny going to do it? He does. He comes good and closes the gap between the Germans and the French.
Oh, he coped well there, Patrick. He would have been aware that Claude missed 2. That gave him some thinking time, but he kept calm.
Yeah, misses though from Stolder and Fack and Lagride, all missing 1. Pigdrushny, he could clear and put Ukraine up into the top 3. He does. Excellent shooting from Pigdrushny. So what's the margin now? It was 24.7, down to 10 for Germany. Roman Rees, that will keep Germany 1 in the race, but they're still some way behind. Margins are pretty big, but they cannot grow beyond 45 seconds. And to keep them there, it doesn't really matter, but if you finish over 90 seconds behind, you still only end up 45 seconds behind at the start of the mass start, just to make a race of it. And I guess with that format, Mike, anyone can still win the day.
I think so, and we saw there, of course, Norway coming in with Lagride shooting better this time. He's found his magic.
Yeah, I wonder whether the French are thinking, OK, let's take risks on the first leg, trying to calm down, I think she's saying.
Yes, and when we saw Claude earlier, Fabien that is, his brother's racing for Belgium, but when we saw him in the shootout, he wasn't relaxed at all, and we saw that in his stand shoot first time.
Yeah, and Germany too, now with the best shooting record, and there they are. They have closed that gap dramatically, down to 12 seconds. So Julius Simon is now being chased by Kevinger.
It's not easy conditions, Patrick, to ski on. It's still quite icy. You can see the surface beginning to break up. But in terms of your balance, this is a hard surface. It's like skiing on concrete, and then you can see it breaks up on the corners. Not easy, and it absorbs a lot of tension through your legs coming in for the stand shooting.
Yeah, and we were talking about Benny Dole's technique earlier on. I think this just emphasises that his balance is nowhere near as good as someone like, well, Johannes Tingesbø.
And well, that's what makes Johannes so efficient. There's no tension, there's no wasted energy, and if you're not technically beautifully balanced like a ballet dancer on skis, then this is hard work tonight.
Well, good analogy, because of course that's exactly what Raphael Poiret, who was one of the first sort of master technicians, he spent his summer months training with a ballet school just for that very reason.
Yeah, it's hard, and when you're tired and your body's tired, your mind's tired, it's hard to keep, you know, control and super balance over the skis. Simone looks great, doesn't she? The balance is there, the efficiency's there, and you don't feel she's tensed or stressed.
Yeah, she's back into the prone position now. Kebinger really is the one under pressure here. Although it's Julia Simon leading, I think Kebinger is the one who's in a position she's never been in before. And if Julia Simon misses, she will pick up on that. And it'll be interesting to see the response. So here we go. Simon has yet to miss a target tonight. And the standing shoot was immaculate. All good things come to an end. So that's 3 misses now for the French and a chance for Germany to go in front.
That was only 7 seconds, first shot to last shot for Simon.
Nice shooting from Kebinger. Well, there's the drama, Mike. We've seen it many, many times before, but France still holding on to a little lead. All that good work. Remember, they were 25 seconds clear at one stage, and now they're about 2.5 meters clear of Germany, and it's Benny Doll up against Fabian Club. It could well be Germany in front. Tannenwald clears 5. That's important for the Norwegian team, who for many were the favourites here tonight. Hettig Valks trying to get Germany 1 back into the race. That's just what she didn't need.
Oh, you just felt she'd almost broken her position as she released that shot there. She thought, the brain said it was in, but it certainly wasn't.
Amy Berserger just coming out of the range area for Switzerland and turning right to pay her penalties. Hauser is through. Let's have a look and see where Simon's shots went. That was low left, going long way left on that third shot. And then tightens it up a little. So just one wayward shot so far from Julia Simon.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, Jean-Paul, the shooting coach there, will ask her to move the sights to the right. Yes, it might have been a precision, but he'll want the fall of those shots further to the right within that small golf ball size target.
So the margin back down to 1.7 seconds, and actually Fabian Club seems to be pushing very hard to extend his lead over Benny Doll, who's still looking very cool out there on the tracks. Yeah, the dead turns, as triathletes would call them, Mike, really tricky on a set of skis when the surface isn't optimum.
Yes, it is. I thought we might see some fallers, but not yet. And in the stadium, again, you have to kind of hold back a little, because you don't want to burn up too much energy on the tight turns, or even on just being too tense. Benny Doll did that little rise very well. Body language, Benny Doll always looks exhausted, doesn't he? The head flopping left and right, but he needs to get all his mindset back for this next shoot coming up.
Yeah, again, another loss of balance from Benny Doll. I don't think he's feeling too good on the snow conditions out there, and that could pay come the end of the evening. Shoot number 6 of 8. So the men have, after this lap, One lap, one shoot, followed by a final lap. And the women just have one lap to go. Fabien Claude seems to me to be taking a few extra seconds after his 2 mistakes in the last standing shoot. Even Stevens at the moment, maybe France just a fraction ahead. It's going to be minimal. Benny Doll needs this. He misses. That is crucial at this stage. Oh, Kebinger knows just how important that is. But it's only going to be one loop, and we'll get a really good idea of exactly what a loop stands for. Claude, he's put the hammer down there, Mike, trying to extend this lead.
Oh, he really has. He really wants Simon to get another 10, maybe 15-second advantage here.
Well, it's not going to be far off that mark of 15, maybe a fraction over. And that has proved to be a very costly mistake indeed from Benny Doll. France can relax just a little bit. Julia Simon now on her last lap here in the first phase, the mass start. Roman Rees misses number 1.
Oh, he really tried to get his position so comfortable. I thought that first shot should hit, but, well, he anchored the last 4.
So it's a good race from Slovenia so far. We haven't mentioned them too much. Norway still in this one very much at 46 seconds. So if it stays there, they will start 23 to 25 seconds behind the winners of this heat come phase 2, the pursuit. Team 9 doing brilliantly. That's Ukraine, Zhima and Pigdrushny. I think they'll be delighted with the way things have gone so far. A little bit lucky, low left and again left.
Just thinking there, when you mentioned the Ukraine team, they have had 2 wins here, haven't they, over the years? In 2008, they took the win, and also in 2014. So yeah. I would love to see them on the podium at least today.
Yeah, that was Shemenov and Shemarenko in 2014. Last year it was the French, of course, who are racing the same team this year. Austria won in 2021. Russia won in 2020 with Alisiev and Pavlova. And then, of course, it was Christensen and Roisland who won back in 2019, the last time the Norwegians won. And the year after, Hoffer and Vera. That was a popular win. I think Kebinger sensibly racing her own race here.
I think she's been, very impressive. You know, it's a big, new, scary experience, and I think you're right. She's trying to just keep everything with herself. I can only go at my pace. I can only use my own mindset coming in to shoot. She's not even trying to chase down the slightly faster, on paper at least, Simon.
So Simon for the final time in this mass start race, and a 5 out of 5 to take what will probably be 20 to 25 seconds lead into phase 2 later this evening. They do not get a lot of rest time. So all eyes on the target in lane 1. Back in the stand position for Julie Simon. Only 1 miss so far. She could clear all 5 before Kebinger takes her position. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. That is why she won the shootout earlier on today, and it wasn't against the other women, it was against everyone. So Julia Simon having the night of her life so far. That is fantastic. Kebinger needs to follow suit. 2 out of 2. That would have put the prone target down. That would have been a 9. Excellent shooting so far from Kebinger. Down it goes. Nerves of steel. Brilliant performance. And Germany stay in this one. Benny Doll has a chance. He has a chance to close the gap before they go into the break. Oh, Slovenia with 2 expensive mistakes. Klemencic.
Yeah, I thought she's coped so well to this point tonight, Klemencic, but again, at the very end, the pressure goes through the mind. Tandrevold staying slow and calm, but hitting most, if not all, of her targets.
Yeah, great shooting from Tandrevold, as you say, different race tactics from her. I think maybe Norway have decided if you stay in it before the second race, you have every chance of winning, because there's not quite as much pressure if you start in third or fourth as if you start first on the pursuit later on. Hettig Waltz, it's been up and down for Germany 1 so far this evening. Amy Berserger, if she clears 5, then the Swiss can start thinking in terms of podiums for phase 2. So 2 more misses. That's good shooting from Amy Berserger. Now it's up to Seb Stolder to complete that performance. Lotte Lee. Oh, the Belgians back in it. They've got themselves ahead of Austria, but it's about to reverse. I don't think I've ever seen Lotte Lee miss so many targets in one shoot.
It's a new and scary experience, isn't it? Lotte Lee, one of the best shots, if not the best shot in the women's field prior to Christmas, and a meltdown there last 5 shots.
Team 7, Switzerland, going out in, what was that, 6th place? No, this was something else.
Now, I made her start time 17 seconds. Incredible.
Absolutely astonishing. And when you think it's her last shoot, you know, normally you can pull that off on your first shoot when you're relatively fresh. But she made that look very, very easy. And I tell you what, that will send a few nerves the way of Brézard-Boucher and of course, Tandrevold, who are the 2 leaders in the Women's World Cup at the moment.
I think it will. I mean, but that's just an absolutely masterful performance from Julia Simon. But can she do it next time? They're going to start quite a margin ahead of the next team, we would expect. And there is pressure on this after the break for the final.
Benny Doll still on the chase. No one has managed to get ahead of the French so far. Not been the perfect start, but it's been pretty close. I think they're still on only 3, is it 3 or 4 shots missed, Mike?
I think it's 3, and he will feel the pressure now, Claude. He definitely will.
Yeah, 2 of his misses came in the last stand. I think this looks a slightly more composed shoot. I think the orders will have been take your time. First 2 shots so important. That will do nicely. That will do nicely. Simon, no signs of emotion, but I think she'll be pretty pleased. She will know that Claude will clear the penalty loop regardless of what Benny Doll does. One miss, and that is going to give the French a lead of at least 25. 2 misses. We're looking at, what are we looking at? 40 seconds back?
Oh, you can feel the pain in that expression there. Benny Doll, he wouldn't have expected that. I certainly didn't. Yeah,
and you've talked a lot about the pressure, Mike. This man will be feeling some, but I guess the Germans are feeling it more than anyone else.
You can see that. Lightweight's not quite looking himself here, is he? You can feel tension where normally you feel calm.
Yeah, you know, the best shot on the tour over the last couple of years. It's not quite working for him so far this year. Pigdrishny, great shooting from the Ukrainian team. They've done exceptionally well so far. Yakufak with a blip at the end of his performance. That's a shame. Another 2 penalty loops to ski. So Germany come out 43.8 behind. They've got to within 8 seconds, and now it's back to 43. So the French are laughing at the moment, and they're going to find themselves when they cut those deficits in half, they're going to be at least 20 seconds clear at the start of the pursuit a little bit later on. Norway at 101, so their difference effectively about 30 seconds. Ukraine just over that, 34, 35. Now, where did these misses go? High left?
Oh, you saw him try to hesitate, control himself, but he let it go anyway, and the same for that second miss.
Yeah. Roman Rees, that's what Benny Doll needed. That's better. It gets them reasonably close, but I think we're going to have quite a few teams starting on 45 seconds, Mike. This French performance has been absolutely outstanding.
I can't think, Patrick, down the years, the 20th time of asking here, I can't think of such a masterful, such a lead going into the break before the final.
Yeah, the Norwegians, well, they were 25 seconds clear ahead of the French at the end of the first phase last year, and the Czech Republic were only just behind them, 25.9. Like rides. I wonder whether you know, his ambition for this year was to win the overall. Has he blown it, Mike? He's 183 points behind the current leader, who is, of course, Johannes Tingesbø.
Yeah, I think he has, you know, missing that last race on the last day before Christmas. I think that's cost him dearly. He'd have expected at least 80 points from that race, but
yeah,
he wasn't allowed to take part.
Yeah, a negligent discharge, I think they would call it. You ever had one of them?
I honestly haven't, but I know that it does happen, and I've been in an accommodation where it has happened.
Yeah, it's a serious affair, and I think, you know, that sort of thing cannot go unpunished. He was quite emotional about it.
Yeah.
Is it better to ban them from a race, or is it better to fine them? And well, let's just focus on the French as they come across the line. Watch the clock. Great performance. Fabien Claude backing up all the good work that Julius Simon did. Just one shaky shoot. It was his penultimate standing shoot where he was just a little bit too eager to get away, and he missed two. Benitol let himself down on that last shoot. It would have been very, very close. They were 43 seconds behind, and looks to me as if he's running out of puff as well. These tight corners, it's not what biathlon's all about.
It really is tough. The legs are tired at this stage after what, nearly 34, 35 minutes of racing. That's a huge margin though, isn't it? Of course it'll be halved for the final.
Well, 25 seconds is quite a handy lead for the French to take in. Effectively, they are 2 penalty loops clear of everyone, and they'll be glad to know that they're 30 seconds clear, almost 3 penalty loops clear of the Norwegians. Great effort from Ukraine, ranked 9, but Zima and Pigdrushny have certainly performed well. 1:16 the margin for them, and coming across the line is Jakov Fak, the 36-year-old from Slovenia. We haven't seen much of the Austrians today, and that is because they are off the pace, right on cue. There is Felix Leitner, started his season okay, but 1:53, so everyone from, well, Klemencic and Fak are going to be starting on, what, 44 seconds, and everyone else is going to be starting on 45, so that's going to be five teams, all at the back of the grid. 45 seconds in terms of distance, Mike.
Yeah, we're looking at 45. We're looking at, let me just try. Yeah, we're looking, what, 300 meters, I would say, at least in this flat conditions here in the stadium.
Yeah, and in terms of shooting, you know, the penalty looks to be about 12.5 to 13 seconds, sometimes a little bit more.
Yes, it does. It's tiring going around that little penalty loop. I suppose the upside is that every time you go off the penalty loop, you're handing over to the next athlete, except for the men on this last lap.
And Belgium, there's no rush. Once you're a minute and a half behind, you might as well conserve your energy. They will start at 45. Big margins.
Yeah, Belgium would have been expecting more tonight. You know, they are two very class act shots on the range, but didn't quite work their way first half. I think they'll be better the second time.
Well, there's confirmation of the positions, and the French in the end just missing 4 targets, along with Germany 2, that is, Kevinger and Doll, and Norway just over the minute behind the winning French team. But last year, those who won the first leg did not win the pursuit. Positions were reversed, with Norway winning the mass start, France coming through to win the night. And no prizes for winning this mass start, Mike. It's all about race 2.
It is, and will the French team, can Simon keep on doing it? She had a fabulous shootout early on. She had a great run here now. Can she do it a third time, of asking? Sometimes you lose your magic, you lose that sharpness in your mind.
Yeah, I think the question mark belongs to Claude on your screens at the moment, because if anyone's going to crack in the French team, you suspect it might be him.
Jean-Paul just clearly showing him the fall of the shots as to why they happened, especially in the stand. Tension.
So post-race analysis for the French, and Fabien certainly seems to want to speak his mind. He knows it, you know, he was out there, he knows exactly what went wrong. Well, just a few of the highlights from this first phase here in the Veltins Arena, the 20th Biathlon World Team Challenge, and certainly living up to expectations. I think the most outstanding fact is that France have been incredible, and opening up one of the biggest gaps we've ever seen after the first phase. It was a combination of the shooting and the skiing. They weren't the only team just to miss 4, but they shot faster than everyone else, and they certainly skied faster than everyone else. So the favourites have started their defence very, very well here in the Veltins Arena, and we will be back in a little while to see how the mass start goes. Same distance, same teams. They just start in a pursuit format, one after the other, depending on their performance in that first leg. Well, welcome back to the Veltins Arena. The first phase of the World Biathlon Challenge has been completed, and we're waiting for the start now of the pursuit. And Mike, fairly substantial time differences between the teams on that first leg. How easy do you think France are going to find this?
It's very interesting. It will be going through their minds that we have a huge lead, but sometimes, and we've so often seen that even at the Olympics, when you've got this big lead, there's a strange psychology comes in. There's so much to lose. So I don't think we'll see them quite as settled this time around as we did in the qualifying, if you like.
Well, the French took an early lead after a quick leg from Julie Simon. No team got in front of them at any stage, despite Fabien Claude missing a couple of shots on his first standings far this evening. Then tick all along. It would be a first, but you have to give them credit for thinking out of the box.
But I thought Julia Simon, here she is, I thought she was so calm on the start line. Just when an athlete's fully confident about their skill set, especially shooting, you could just stand there very, very calm, ready for what's about to happen.
Yeah. A nice shot of the outside of the stadium, and if there are any football fans watching biathlon, part of the Euros next year will be taking place in this stadium. And then I think in July, Taylor Swift is coming to entertain the locals. You must be a Swiftie, aren't you, Mike?
I am. Definitely. And I wonder, sometimes athletes have some music playing in their head. For me, that works just to keep the calm there and just to be in a happy place, pushing as hard as you can.
Yeah, but I know yours was all bagpipes.
It used to be. I changed that as the years went by.
As the hearing went.
Exactly, it made the hearing go.
Yeah, but on a serious note, this is one of the great multi-purpose stadiums in Europe. Really, really impressive. What's so impressive is how quickly they can change it from one, for one discipline to another.
Yeah, and fascinating that the whole platform can slowly be taken outside and readjusted, rearranged for football pitch, for concerts. It does everything.
Yeah. It's a clever design, and certainly biathlon has benefited. This has been a huge success, and what we would like tonight, which we very seldom see, is a tight finish. I'm not sure how a sprint finish would work in this stadium. There's barely enough room for one, let alone two or three coming down the home straight together. So here we go, France, business as usual, and Julie Simon, the World Cup winner from last year, and of course the world champion in the pursuit. Oh, slightly low left again. This is where the rounds were going in the first competition. Now she's starting to get more central, but 5 out of 5, the grouping was brilliant. But again, there'll be a call for the change of the sights.
I think there will be, but that soul-destroying Patrick for the chasing teams. Keppinger, well, they're in now, and of course Tandrevold, she's gone.
Yeah, Tandrevold taking just a couple of seconds extra to get down. Shooting left-handed, as you can see.
Much more care in Keppinger than there was in Julia Simon.
Yeah, another mistake from Tandrevold. Absolutely no excuses with the conditions. Nothing has changed. The noise is a different thing altogether, but Tandrevold's been here many times. She knows what it's about. Zima and Klemencic clear 5. Norway are the losers on that first shoot. Lisa Teresa Hauser goes 5 and gets a good cheer, as does Hedek Valtz. And Lotte Lee back on target, 5 out of 5, and they will move ahead of the Swiss, who've dropped down the order.
That's tough for Becerra. That's now the chasing game. Much more pressure heaped on the Swiss team than they would have liked.
Well, the gap has grown again, Mike, up to 32 seconds, and all thanks to Julia Simon. Faka Slovenia at 46. Norway dropping from 3rd down into 5th. 50 seconds behind now. So another 20 seconds lost by the Norwegians. Part of that was the one missed shot, and it just seemed to me that Tandrevold took an extra 5 or 6 seconds to get that first round away. So one shoot completed, and one round completed of 9. 8 shoots, of course. Well, Fabien Claude made that look very, very easy. It'd be nice to see a club skier going up that section, Mike. Some would stop halfway and take the skis off. He danced up it with considerable ease.
It takes such strength, really, you know, if an untrained athlete who was, you know, capable at skating, it would take a lot of strength, a lot of effort to make it up that climb. But yes, he danced his way up. I'm still thinking that even though the French team looked so secure at the top of the field by 32 seconds, so much can still happen. And I think we're going to see some missed shots, especially in the standing, from Fabien Claude.
Yeah, and we got 6 teams in fairly close quarters, ready to challenge should the French make mistakes. But my personal feeling is the pressure is on Claude. Julius Simon hasn't looked like doing anything wrong so far tonight. But let's see how he copes. Will he take those extra couple of seconds? They're over 30 seconds clear, and it's looking very good for the defending champions. No team, as in identical team, has ever defended this title. The Norwegians have won it 4 times on the trot, with Bjorn Dolland in on every occasion, but he had a different partner on every occasion, and Fabien Claude made that look easy. So that 30 seconds is not coming down.
Well, the nod of the head there from Simon, she thought, yeah, I knew he would provide 5 out of 5. I wonder if she'll watch so eagerly the next time when he's in the standing. I don't want to put a negative spin on it, but and maybe the debrief he had after the first race from his coach, Jean-Paul, maybe that'll secure a stand.
3 good shots from Benny Doll so far. 4 drops a little bit low right, and 5 goes high left. Oh, he just rushed that last one. Well, it looks as though the French could be 45 seconds clear. Benny Doll heading out onto the penalty loop. Lagerheide of Norway gets a good 5 out of 5. There've been precious few of those for the Norwegians, but it's going to put them closer to the leader, certainly closer to second place. But Germany hanging on at the moment. But look at the clock ticking away. 45, 46, 47. The French are a long, long way clear, nearly 350 metres ahead of the nearest rivals.
Incredible. This could be the beginning of a good sound Norwegian comeback in terms of time, I think. Tandrevold now, she does need to shoot a little faster, though.
But they're so far back, Mike, that they can't put pressure on the French at the moment. I guess we have that sort of situation that we see occasionally where a team gets so far ahead that they then become frightened of losing.
That's the only thing. That switch in psychology is what, at such a great margin, nearly a minute margin in the lead, there is a lot to lose.
Lovely final shot. Yeah, there is a woman, you want her nod of approval.
Yes, she's not going to let you down tonight.
So the shooting standard has been okay so far, with only 2 shoots completed. So most of the teams on 90%. Only the French have gone 10 with 10. So 6 more shoots still to go. Germany 2 being trailed by Norway, and Tanrevold, who's number 2 in the World Cup rankings, had a really good record so far in terms of the shooting prone, 96%. Hasn't quite been so hot with the standing shoot, 80%. And she raced, of course, with Christensen last year, Mike. Christensen, who's been just a little below his best.
Yes, it's a pity, and normally his strength is his shooting. I noticed, of course, that in the final World Cup before the Christmas break, his shooting didn't desert him, but it wasn't where it should be in the normal Christensen performance.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to him.
No.
Now that's Kebinger, and the first real stumble, nothing that Tanrevold could do about that. And the only people that benefit are the French.
Yeah, there goes another 3 seconds.
Well, we're back in the Veltins, and Julia Simon, same business as usual. Another 5 targets full, 15 out of 15 for the French team. And Claude, with a smile on his face, he knows he's got something to live up to here. But every target that goes down for Julia Simon is a benefit to Fabien Claude and the French team.
Spectacular. I wonder if he's thinking about that 28,000 euros for the winning team. Surely he won't be quite yet.
Yeah, that's a very good bonus. Now, let's have a look. Was this a pole plant in between? She actually planted her pole behind her foot on the ski. That's pretty rare.
That is rare.
Anyway, no real harm done. I feel that if Norway or Germany are going to win this, they cannot afford another miss. A delay from Tanrevold, and all because she registered the miss from Germany. So I think she sensed it was well worth taking a couple of extra seconds. Hetting Baltzar with an opportunity to get closer. Austria are on the comeback. 5 out of 5 from Lisa Theresa Hauser, and they could well move into the top 3 or 4. That would be a good comeback from the Austrians. And Lotte Lee back on the range. Another miss from her. Yeah, I think the experience probably proving a little bit too much for Lotte Lee so far this evening. Looked relaxed enough on the start line. Kebinger to Benny Dole, and Lisa Theresa Hauser handing over to Felix Leitner, just wanting to make sure they made contact. Slovenia now with Jakub Fak ready to go, and Roman Rees will be right on his heel.
It's a real runaway first place, isn't it? But there's a lot of tightness now, chasing second and third place.
Yeah, great battle for the second, third, fourth. France should really have it in the bag at this stage, but we still have a lot of shooting to go. A minute clear, they can certainly afford 4 misses.
I can't understand. Lotte Lee is hand-feeding some spare ammunition. You've got a magazine of 5, you fire the 5 shots. Clearly she had a problem with her magazine.
Well, one advantage the French have got, Mike, with this minute lead is that they can just sort of crank the skiing down maybe a couple of percentage points, make it that much easier, and turn this into a training run.
I think so. You know, you don't want to back off too much, and this was spectacular. That was actually a lucky second shot. It did hit low on the edge.
She's getting faster and faster with every shot. I don't think Jean-Paul got a chance to get onto the scope.
That was rapid fire again. So what, 17, 19 seconds stop start. It's quite incredible timing.
Felix Leitner going well for Austria. Started his season pretty well, just scraped into the mass start in Lenzerheide, which was the last of the World Cups. And incidentally, if you are wondering when the World Cups get underway, Oberhof is the next stop. And we've got the women's sprint on the 6th of January. In fact, the men's is on the 4th, so that's when we'll be back in action.
Well, Lightgrade will be aware that Claude has missed 2 out of 5. That's expensive. Now it won't put the pressure on. They'll still be ahead, but certainly allowing Lightgrade to come back into it.
Yeah. Well, they can miss 4 or 5, probably miss 5, but you have to assume from what we've seen so far tonight that the other teams are going to miss as well, so you can probably push that up to 6 or 7, and I can't see that happening.
That will irritate, without a doubt, Fabien Claude from missing or only hitting 3 out of 5, but the margin is so huge at the moment, they're still comfortable.
Yeah. Lightgrade and Tandrevold must be perfect. That's a good start. That's a good start, and the lead is going to be under the minutes. Benny Doll. Can he just relax now? Nothing to lose. Oh!
Expensive.
Yeah, very expensive, and a big groan goes round the Veltins arena like a Mexican wave. Jakub Fak, 5 out of 5.
Well, now the 2 German teams really are, they're going to be, what, maybe positions 5 and 7?
Yeah, disappointing so far. Looked fairly promising at one stage. Seb Stolder, he's rattling them down. That's a good shoot. Yeah, and a good performance from this stage, Mike. A couple of good shoots, and teams can get themselves back up towards the podium places. 106 now, separating the top 3. Austria are only just off that. Lisa Theresa Hauser will certainly have her eyes on a top 3 here. And then the 2 German teams, neck and neck. Kebinger up against Hettig-Walz.
Lightgrade, very high shoulder, the right shoulder lifted so high. Yes, that's his style, but doesn't quite look the stable biathlete we've seen in the past.
Norwegian fans, fingers crossed, toes crossed, hands held. I think they'll be happy with what they saw. It just looked to me as though there was a slightly bigger cant on the rifle for Lightgrade.
It makes a difference, and Benny Dahl missing 2 there, just frustration, just not quite relaxed. He's trying to make it a less of a deficit, and it's just not working.
Nice transition into the skate 1, and Julia Simon has certainly eased down on what we saw from her earlier on. Tandrevold of Norway has no choice but to push hard. Good gain on that last shoot from the Norwegians.
Although the track profile, Patrick, the climbs allow, I say, a stronger skier to pull a few seconds back, but all of the tight bends, there's very little you can gain on this track, you know, in terms of like huge margins.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's often quicker to negotiate a tight bend by coming in a little bit slower.
Yeah, if you attack it, you're losing energy or you're risking a fall.
So here we go again. Fabien Claude will, I guess, just assume that these 5 targets are going down. She has been low left so far tonight. Well, that's incredible. I know the camera angle makes it look a little bit further left than it is, but if you're going to be that close to the edge, Mike, and you shoot a group that would go through a halfpenny piece, that is sensational.
That is, and John Paul, he's a lovely guy and he's a happy man, but when he's on that scope, we don't often see a smile like that, so he absolutely feels good about Julia Simon tonight.
Yeah, he's smiled more tonight than he has in the whole season so far. He's looked pretty tense so far on the World Cup, but things haven't really been going France's way. They certainly are tonight, and the lead is certainly going to be still up around the 40-second mark. Even if Tandrevold hits 5 out of 5, again, she takes her time, readjusts that left elbow just to make sure.
Each time in, Tandrevold's playing the safe game, and I think it's a decent strategy, but losing 7 seconds each time to Simon.
Yeah, it's the way to finish on the podium, but it's not the way to catch the French. If the Norwegians want to win, they have got to take some risks. Are they thinking of the money?
22,000 for second place, 20,000 for third place. Yeah, keep the 22.
Now, Germany's chance to come back, and Kebinger going okay at the moment. 4 out of 4 for Kebinger. If this goes down, we'll hear the response. There it is. So they are back up into the top 4. Slovenia are away, and still plenty of opportunity for change. Although the leader's still at 57.8 seconds. One more shoot for the women after this in the stand position. The men still have a prone and a stand to come. And Ukraine, well, they've dropped down a little bit, having finished in 4th place after the first leg, but that good shoot from Zima will give them every chance of challenging for a top 3 or 4. Is Tandrevold a contender for the overall this year?
I think she is. I think she's had such a steady, you know, she's mastered the shooting there, not taking any risk, and yet sitting second at the moment. She hasn't had many bad days because of her tight shooting.
A lot of the athletes here have suffered from illness this season.
I don't think we've seen a season quite like it, Patrick. So many DNS does not start on the start sheets. Very, very unusual. If you decide and you're healthy the night before the race, you're going to race unless there's some incident or problem. But
Yeah.
we've seen that so often this season.
And do you think it's something? Do you think it's a kickback from COVID, where people are very, very conscious of the damage you can do if you race when you're ill?
I think it is, but I do think the bugs, you know, with teams not travelling so much in the summer, then a lot of travelling in the winter, you're then exposed to the bugs again, flying, travelling, in restaurants. So I think it just opened up to the higher risk.
So France getting closer and closer to making it 2 successive victories here in the Veltins arena. Fabian Claude's prone shooting's been excellent, and he